I chose this topic because my oldest brother is gay. Up until 2015, he wasn't legally able to get married. That's the year that gay marriage became legal in the U.S. The LGBT community has had a lot of obstacles that they must go through to get their issues addressed and hopefully eventually resolved. They have quite a few ways to get their issues addressed, which include protests, advocates, and court hearings. Let's look at a few ways. One of the first ways they get their issues noticed is through advocates. Advocates are people who support and speak on behalf of the group of people. The LGBT community has advocates that represent them in court as well. The Human Rights Watch website states, "We document and expose abuses based on sexual orientation and gender identity worldwide, including torture, killing, executions, arrests under unjust law, unequal treatment, and censorship." They have their best interest in getting their issues resolved and having equal rights. Advocates play an important part because they also help in courtrooms. The court also plays a very big role in getting their issues noticed. For example, it took them 40 years of fighting in the courts to get equal rights for marriage. The Atlantic Online website stated that Evan Wolfson said, "We have been fighting for the freedom to marry and for equal protection and equal rights and equal inclusion and equal responsibilities for decades. And we are making that case in the court of public opinion alongside the case we are making in the court of law." Let's look at another important way their issues get addressed. Riots and protests are also a very important way to get their issues noticed. For example, the Stonewall riot is a very important event to the LGBT community. It was when the police raided one of the gay clubs in New York on June 28th of 1969. The Atlantic Online website stated, "The New York Post reported on June 28, 1969, that hundreds outside the bar have been observed chanting 'Gay Power' and 'We Want Freedom.'" With that being said, I don't feel this group should have to have advocates, rallies, and court hearings to have equal rights. It is their constitutional right to have them. It's a virtuous cycle. Andrew Sullivan stated, "The more we get married, the more normal we seem. The more normal we seem, the more human we seem. The more our equality seems obviously important. Since they've got ways to get their issues addressed and some issues resolved, my brother has now been happily married for 2 years."